Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, let's talk about today's video. It is going to be a collaboration with my very, very best YouTuber friend, Holly, from over at Hot Humble Pie. Y'all, I absolutely adore her. She is so precious. Like, she is the most genuine woman I've ever met in my life. She is so helpful. Very, very talented. Like, this lady knows her stuff. Okay. So y'all definitely go check her out. We'll talk a little more about her and her channel later on in the video, but just wanted to throw that out there. She's precious. Y'all have got to check her out, like, for sure. Okay, so what the video is going to be about is tiered tray decor. So she and I got to talking and we were like, you know what? Everybody has a tiered tray nowadays. Or if not, there are many DIY videos on how to make a tiered tray, especially with like Dollar Tree items and whatnot. Matter of fact, there's quite a few on my own channel. So if you need one, go check that out on the channel. All right, now, the thing is the decor to go on your tiered tray. You don't want to spend a lot for holidays that you're only going to have it out for like a month or something, or, you know, a couple weeks, and then boom, you're putting that up. So we wanted to do something to help you guys and ourselves, obviously, because we're decorating with this stuff ourselves, but just the decor to go on your tiered tray. So what we did was Farmhouse Easter tiered tray decor, and y'all, it is so stinking cute. Like, there's just little mini stuff, and I just love it. Oh my gosh, I just love it. So definitely stick around for all of this video. There are many different ideas. When you're done with my video, go over to Holly's and check out what she has made for your tiered trays. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family, and subscribe. Hello. All right, hit that notification bell so that you know each time I upload a new video, and let's jump right in. Welcome everybody, and a huge warm welcome to those of you who have come over from Holly's channel. Thank you so much for being with me today. All right, let's get into this first one. I have got this colander that I got from, it's like a little mini colander. It came from the Dollar General store. I've got some of the foam Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree, the reindeer moss, and also a chalkboard sign. Now, I started out with my Arteza paints. I have got the burnt sienna. I've also got just the regular gray. I have got Folk Arts metallic silver. I have the Dollar Tree chalkboard paint. It's in black. And then I've got elephant in Waverly's, and also some Mod Podge. So the first thing I did was paint this with my Mod Podge. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know that this helped that much, because I still had some places that the paint just didn't really want to stick, you know, this being plastic and all. So probably the best thing to do would be to spray paint this first. If I had this to do over again, I would absolutely spray paint this first, either black or, you know, silver possibly, or white, you know, whatever, but definitely would probably try and do that first. I think that would stick better than what the regular paints did. And I also used too much Mod Podge, so I ended up with it all in the little tiny holes, but got that out. I just took my brush and kind of started pouncing at it, you know, and push the bristles through the holes. But like I said, the Mod Podge didn't really help, so I would probably just skip that part and go ahead and spray paint. Now, I used the elephant Waverly chalk paint and painted the entire colander, front, back, top, bottom, sides, the whole shebang. I used my heat gun in between coats. I did do 2 coats on this. But I used my heat gun in between there to dry it. And I always have a link in my description box for that heat gun, because y'all, that thing is fantastic. And it's only like $10 off of Amazon. So there is a link for that. Now, I used these makeup sponges. Got those from the Dollar Tree during Valentine's. I think they were like a little Valentine's thing. I've got the Folk Art Silver, and I am just going all over this colander now that my elephant is dry. I'm now going over it with the silver. I'm just kind of pouncing with my sponge, getting it on there. Like I said, I had some spots that the paint didn't want to stick, so I would have to go back with my brush and, you know, hit it with the elephant color again, because the turquoise color was actually coming back through. Like, matter of fact, where I was holding on to the colander as I was painting,
That's where it came off, where my finger had touched it. Now, the first thing I did once my silver was completely on the colander was I took some black and I just pounced around in different areas, just random spots, no rhyme or reason with this, just literally getting some black on there. I kind of made sure that I got around the edges and, anywhere that it would naturally start to deteriorate, rust and whatnot. And we are going to go in with that burnt sienna and do the rust. But first I did the black. And I just went all over this thing, just different spots, random spots all over it. I then took my brush, dipped it back in the silver, and I am going to pounce at it. Now, I'm not painting it. I'm not actually doing strokes of paint, as you see there. I am literally taking that brush and pouncing at the black, just going all over it. We're more or less just blending it in pretty much. You don't want it to be just like stark spots of black. So going right back over the top of the black with that silver and just blending it in. Look at this color, y'all. I am obsessed with this Arteza, the Arteza, however you want to say it. But it is the burnt sienna and it is so pretty. It is such a beautiful rust color. I mean, you could even use it probably for like terracotta if you wanted to do something, and make it look like a vase or something. I might try that actually because I think that would work, but it's such a rich, beautiful color. So pigmented. I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous. Anyway, so I just like with the black, I made some random spots, but I mainly focused on around the edges of everything, around the handles, around the top edge of the colander, also around that bottom portion. And don't worry, the bottom portion has got a crap ton on it, but we're going to go back over it and blend it in. Don't worry. So I just add some more of my silver to my brush, and we're just going to pounce that brush right over the top of this. Just blending it right back in. I wanted I wanted it to look rusted, but I also didn't want it to just be so distressed that it didn't look natural. You know what I mean? So I did go over it pretty heavy-handed with that silver going back over the top of it. But you'll see in a second, I do take my sponge again and just hit right around the edge. Just right there where it would naturally rust. That's the main thing that you're wanting to focus on. And I just, like I said, go right around the edge, around the handles, the edges of the handle. But that color is so pretty. I am very, very impressed with the Arteza paints. I mean, I cannot say enough good things about them. And they are no more expensive than the Waverly paints are, honestly. So check those out. There will be a link in the description box for them. Now, I took those foam eggs. I've got my pool colored chalk paint by Waverly. I took the eggs and put them on skewer sticks and just paint it away. Okay, so I've got them on there. I'm painting them, and then I'm just sitting them in a little cup to let them dry. But this was the easiest way that I could come up with to paint those eggs, so you can get all the way around it in the first painting. You're not having to paint one side, dry it, paint the other side. So putting it on that skewer stick really helped. Look at that. So that is when you get way too close with your heat gun. It literally turned that pretty little egg into a dinosaur egg or something. So be careful with your heat gun and the foam. It will, just be careful. All right, so I took some ocean colored chalk paint and then also the black chalkboard paint and mixed it together. Now, I got it a little too dark, so I had to add a little more of the blue. But what we're going for is like a navy color. So we've got the baby blue eggs, and then we're mixing up a navy. I just mixed that up really, really good, and it was such a pretty color too. Added a little bit of water, got it good and mixed up. It's good and runny now. I'm just going to take my paintbrush and dip it in there, just barely dipped it in there, and then just take my finger and lightly go over the brush, and it just adds these perfect little speckles to these eggs, y'all. So I ended up doing every single egg like that. Now, I did too many eggs for what we're doing, but hey, I had a fun time doing it, so I just kept painting. Now, all of our stuff is ready, so I took some Spanish moss that I had. I thought that the reindeer moss was a little too green to look like a nest, but I did want to add some of that reindeer moss in there just to give it a little pop of color. I don't particularly like Spanish moss. It looks dead to me. It's just not pretty to me, but it does look more like a nest than just strictly the reindeer moss. So I just added my eggs right there to my little nest. How cute is this, y'all, right? Oh my gosh, and it's a little mini. I love it. I love it. So I just kind of took my fingers and dug a little hole. And like I said, I had way too many eggs. I should have just stopped at this point and took a couple of them out, but I kept going with it. I then took that chalkboard sign and spelt out, "Bless our nest." How cute. I love it. Now, I didn't try to get fancy with the lettering on this little chalkboard sign because it is tiny now. It's a little bitty chalkboard sign. How cute. I love it. That's it. That's all I did to this. And it is so stinking cute. It's so farmhouse for sure. I love it. Okay, so before we go any further, I just wanted to take a moment to tell y'all a little bit more about my friend Holly. So Holly has a channel called Hot Humble Pie where she does lots of Dollar Tree DIYs. She has got thrift store makeovers. She has actually got a chalk paint recipe DIY that I highly recommend. She has just got so much talent all wrapped up into one channel. I mean, she is absolutely fabulous, honestly. So y'all be sure and go check her out. The link will be in the description box for her channel and also for this video that we're doing. All right, DIY number 2. So for this one, I've got some of these twine carrots from the Dollar Tree, another chalkboard tag, some of the reindeer moss, and then I've got this little basket that I got from a thrift store. How cute is that thing? Okay, so the first thing I did was I knew I was going to be putting that reindeer moss down in there, and as you can see, it's got the holes in the bottom, the cracks between, or the spaces between those slats in the bottom. So I just took some craft sticks and just kind of eyeball measured them. I mean, I didn't really measure them very good because I actually had to cut them 100 times before I finally got it right. But anyways, I just cut down some craft sticks and shoved them down in there. I actually was going to hot glue them, but I got it cut just right where I was able to just literally push it down in there, and it was so tight that it just stayed. So it worked out perfect. Now, the next thing that I did was take some plaster Waverly chalk paint and my chip brush. I got just a little bit on the end of my brush, wiped it off on a towel, and then I just dry brushed this entire piece. It had some places on it where it looked like maybe some water or something had gotten on it, you know, before, and kind of damaged it a little bit. So I thought that if I dry brushed it, not only would it really bring out that farmhouse in it, but it would also kind of mask where it had the damage on it. So I just dry brushed the heck out of it, filled it with my reindeer moss. It's so stinking cute, y'all. It's so little. Like this video doesn't do it any justice because it's just so little and like just cute. I just cannot get over how cute it is. So I just added that reindeer moss. I then took the twine carrots, and can we talk about how cute these carrots are? First of all, like, go Dollar Tree, because hello, twine carrots from the Dollar Tree. Okay. Anyways, so I just put my carrots in there. I took the chalkboard sign, wrote out bunny food, I think bunny feed or bunny food. I'll have to watch it with y'all and see. But with this one, it was a little bit bigger, so I did try to make the letters, you know, look really nice and fix them up. And I spelt it out, and then I went back and like added some dots to the ends of each letter just to fancy it up a little bit, you know. But as I did it, I realized that I had not gotten over far enough. It was all like, it wasn't centered, I guess you would say. So I took a baby wipe, wiped it right off. It came right off with that baby wipe. And that chalkboard pen that I'm using is actually from Walmart. I could not find my Arteza ones, and those are my favorite ones. But anyways, the Walmart one worked just fine. So the next time I started, I actually started with the N in bunny in the very middle of the sign. That way I knew that I was spacing everything out correctly. But I did not dry this thing before I went to painting. And as I painted, because it was wet from the baby wipe, it literally started to run. I mean, I went ahead and filled in the dots and just fancied it up, and I thought it's going to be okay. The more I look at it, it was a hot mess. So anyways, I took out my heat gun, I dried it, and now we're on the third time that I am spelling bunny, for heaven's sake. So just a little note to self, if you wipe this off, if you have to actually go in and wipe it off because you've messed up, be sure you dry it before you go back and start to spell anything on it, because it kind of like bleeds, I guess you would say. That's kind of what happened with it. But anyways, I just spelt that out. I thought it looked really, really cute. Took some twine. I'm just going to tie that right onto the side of our little basket. This turns out so stinking cute. Check this dude out. Oh, y'all, it is so farmhouse. Do you hear me? I love this little dude. All right, moving right along, DIY number 3. So for this one, I have got one of these little oval signs from the Dollar Tree. I've also got these little oval like wood cutouts from Hobby Lobby, I believe is where I got those. I have got the little half pearl stickers from the Dollar Tree. I've also got these half beads that I got off of Amazon, and I'll have a link in the description box for these beads. It's like 300 of those dudes for about 15 bucks, I think, 12 or 15. Now, the first thing that I did was take out the twine that was on this little sign, and then I took my spackle, also from the Dollar Tree, and just filled in the holes. Now, I probably could have skipped this part because we are going to be putting the beads around it, but I didn't want to start in with the beads and then get to it and maybe it not cover it all the way, or you know what I mean? Like, I just thought, hey, I'll just go ahead and fill them in. No big deal. So I kind of eyeballed where I wanted the smaller one. Now, this DIY is so easy, y'all, and it is probably my favorite out of this entire set. Like, it's just super classy looking to me. I love this one. All right, so I just hot glued that right on. Then I've got my Star Bond glue. This is like multi-purpose, but it also says for wood also, and it's white. So I just went ahead and grabbed it, used it. I just added it to the bottom of those beads. Now, the pearl ones have like sticky already on them, but I did add the super glue because I was going to be painting this and I didn't want them budging around or anything like that. And so far, so good. Now, I haven't had any trouble out of the Star Bond. And even when I went to paint these, they never moved. So the Star Bond is some really good super glue. And I'll have a link in the description box for it also. And I think there is a discount code that goes with that Star Bond. So once I got my beads on, I'm taking the elephant chalk paint once again, and I'm just going to paint the bigger portion of these ovals, or the bigger one of these ovals here. Painting right over the top of those beads and all. I love that elephant color. And then I go in with Moss by Waverly, and it is, the two colors together to me are just gorgeous. So y'all are probably going to be seeing a lot of those two colors for my just spring farmhouse stuff, because I absolutely love the way that this turned out. So I did take a smaller brush and kind of go in and, hit up, just detail it around it. Then I am taking mineral colored chalk paint by Waverly. I added a little to my brush, wiped it off, and I'm just going to dry brush right over the top of those beads. Y'all, this was so simple, and it turns out so stinking cute. Oh, my goodness. I will probably do something, maybe add some wording to this or do something so that I can keep this out all year long, because I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, because it's super simple. I mean, there's nothing to this DIY, but as far as looks, it is definitely very, very simple, but I just love it. I love the way that it turned out. So I dry brushed over the top just a little bit. I didn't want to add too much dry brush into the middle of these, but I did want those beads to pop. Now, I took that elephant chalk paint and I painted over 5 Jenga blocks, just the tumbling tower blocks or whatever you want to call them from the Dollar Tree. I then, once they were dry, and I painted them all the way around, like all 4 sides and the ends and everything. I then glued 2 together 2 times. So it's 4 all together, but I glued them two at a time together. I then took those 2 pieces and glued that together. So what we're doing is making a stand, but it's a very simple stand, very easy to do, and it works great. These little eggs, that's what essentially they are now, are not top heavy at all. They're very, very light, obviously because they're that thin basswood, but this just, I love it. I absolutely love it. I added those to the back of the 4 that we had glued together. I just added those to the back and kind of held it up the way I wanted it. I then took my last one and just added it going up and down just as one last little bit of support. And that's it. That's all we did to these. Look how stinking cute. Oh, I forgot I added a bow. That came from the Dollar Tree also. That ribbon did. But look at this. Oh, my goodness. All right, DIY number 4. So for this one, I've got some dowel rods that I actually picked up at Walmart. I've got 2 of the little terracotta pots that come from the Dollar Tree. I have got some ribbon. I believe it came from Walmart. I have the moss bunnies from the Dollar Tree. I have also got some of this berry twine, but I end up not using it actually. I've got the reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree, and then I've also got just a little thing of it looks like clover to me. It came from Walmart. Now, the first thing I did was dry brush these terracotta pots with my mineral colored chalk paint by Waverly. Just quickly went over them with my brush, my chip brush. I love painting on terracotta. I think it takes up paint so well. I put antique Waverly wax on the dowel rods. I then took what was left of the antique wax on my brush and just dry brushed over the top of those terracotta pots. Just something to make them pop. The minerals seem to kind of blend in with the terracotta, so I went, back over it with that antique wax, and it really, really made them pop. I love the way that turned out looking. So I just added that all the way around. I then took some foam that I already had. It came out of some smaller little pots, but the first part that I had was a little too short, so I took some more foam. I just kind of measured it, like eyeballed it, and then took my scissors and cut it down. Very simple, super simple to do. You could stick any kind of foam down in here, actually. Doesn't have to be round, just anything that'll fit. So I hot glued those in. I took the dowel rods, added those to the bunnies. Took my hot glue, put it right in the center of that, and then I added the bunny. Now, the first time I did it, the dowel rod was just way too tall. It stood up way too tall. There was no way it was going to fit on a tiered tray. So I went back in and used my miter shears. I'll have a link in the description box for those. They came from Amazon. And cut down the dowel rods. I then added the bunnies once again, just added my hot glue, then added the bunnies. I took some of the reindeer moss. Now I did add hot glue first and then the reindeer moss so that it would stay. Added it right to the little pot, kind of left it shaggy looking, you know. I wanted it to just kind of be falling out of the pot almost, but that's kind of why I added the hot glue, because I wanted it to just, I don't know, just look kind of shaggy. So once I got done with that, I wanted to add just a little bit of something to those pots. So these remind me of clover, which if you're from Tennessee or you've ever been to Tennessee in the summertime, clover is everywhere. Do you hear me? Like in everybody's yard, there's clover. So that's what this little set of, sprig of flowers reminds me of. I'm not really even sure what it is. I can't remember what was on the tag, but it didn't say clover. But that's what this reminds me of, is just regular old clover. All right, now I'm taking some buffalo check ribbon or gingham, whatever you want to call it. I honestly don't, I know the difference. There's like 3 different colors in one and 2 in the other. But anyways, whatever. So I took this ribbon, tied it around my little bunny's neck, just to give him a little bit of something, you know, just make it pop, and that's it. How cute are those? Y'all, you cannot get any simpler or any cheaper than that. They are so stinking cute. And now it's time for DIY number 5. Okay, so for this one, I have got some of the little chicks from the cutouts from the Dollar Tree. And then I've also got some buffalo check material. Now, I don't know what happened to my footage of me showing you like all of my different supplies, but either way, these are the simplest DIYs that I have done. I added some hot glue to that little chick, added my material straight to it. I then took one of these little knives. It's like a X-Acto knife that come from the Dollar Tree. And I like these from the Dollar Tree actually because you get like 6 different blades and they're all different. So I used the one that looked more or less like a detailing blade and just cut right around the edge of this little chick. Super simple. Like, you probably don't get any simpler than this. And as a matter of fact, you could get many DIYs out of this because I believe there was like 6 of these little chicks in the package. So this cost me maybe $0.25 to make. I mean, altogether, like, let's be honest, a little snippet of material, and then the chick, I then added a Jenga block to his little feet, and he's done. Now, I wanted a little boy chick and a little girl chick. So I found some pink paper. It is scrapbook paper that came from Hobby Lobby. I actually bought it for Valentine's and ended up not using it. So I thought it was perfect for this. I did the same thing, except I cut out my scrapbook paper first. I added my hot glue right down to my little chick. Popped it right on there. Super simple. I then added some hot glue, added another Jenga block right there to, or built, you know, the tumbling tower blocks right there to his little feet. Now, I wanted my little girl chick to have a ribbon. She needed something, you know. I mean, girls have to have a little bit of something. So I added a little ribbon around her little neck. And that was it. That's all I did to these. And I love them. Look how precious. Oh my gosh. They are absolutely adorable. And now for the final reveal.
Looking good today, girl. Fabulous. Okay. Okay, y'all, that was it. What did you think? Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I love this stuff. I think it turned out so great. I'm so excited about it. Number one, because it was so simple to make, but it didn't cost hardly anything to make this stuff. So that is just awesome. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to go over to Holly's channel and check her stuff out. You guys are going to be in awe. She is so talented, I'm telling you, and she is just so precious. She's got such a beautiful, beautiful spirit. You're gonna know it the second that she starts talking. So definitely go check out Holly. There will be links in the description box for her channel and also for her video that matches mine. All right. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Share it with your friends and family. Subscribe. Hello. And hit that notification bell so that you will know each time that I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a blessed day.